Hello everyone, we're back to part 3. Um, you can see I got some influence on Sidon there. I'm not sure how I got it, maybe because of some... I'm not sure really. I probably got some luxury resources that they were asking for and made some influence. Sidon wasn't really the best city-state that I could become ally with, but it's better than nothing. Uh, Here I saw that he was gonna try and free that camp, so we just had a little bit of fun there. That wasn't really important who would actually get that camp. Um, I decided to go guilds. The idea was to try to get Machu Picchu, but I didn't end up getting it anyway. So we had a little bit of fun. I shift clicked there so he couldn't know my intentions, but he probably figured out that I would want to get the camp. He's the host, of course, and he has the advantage. Yeah, the advantage with the delay. I had like 3 seconds delay or something. So you can't really notice that because the video speed is 1.7, so but there was minimum 2 seconds. Sometimes it had like almost instant movement, but that was really just sometimes. You can see I'm actually um, getting better with the population. Of course, Mongolia is far in front of me still, but aqueducts and civil servers is actually kicking in. I'm not sure what I actually clicked there. Oh yeah, universities. I needed universities SAP. So he wasn't really far from my third city, but I wasn't sure if that was his capital or that he expanded on the other side of the map, or that was his one of his cities. I'm currently leading with the score, but that doesn't really mean a lot. Um, I went tradition uh, because I wanted uh, I wanted to get monarchy eventually, but I didn't get that because I was able to go rationalism for science. Could have went commerce instead. So I want my universities online as soon as possible, so I could catch up on Mongolia's tech lead. And now I had everything ready from my upper branch, and I was going for artillery. I assumed Mongolia was going for artillery as well, so That was just the question who is gonna get it first. So I was lucky with all of the rivers, that really helped a lot with my growth, I mean, later on. I was just going to work on the important tiles, was focusing on growth. You can see I have already 13 citizens, producing 21 food, which is really great. So I still couldn't see which was that city, but I assumed it was the capital because of its border growth. It had too much big borders for a second city or even other cities. So I assumed it was the capital, which was actually great because I could attack it. It didn't have any mountains, so as soon as I had artillery, I knew that he was gonna be my first target, especially since he was close to me. And there I saw his capital. Was in a good position. I mean, for me, to attack it. So at this point, I'm researching small small attacks, and I mean earlier attacks, which actually get researched a lot faster, and I was gaining on Mongolia with the tech lead. I mean, the gap was getting smaller. So I cleared the barbarian camp for Sidon, and we are allies again, which wasn't that bad because they were protecting me. They would have protected me against Beastie Boy and Marius. Especially since Sidon has a lot of units. At this point, I'm still focusing on growing my cities, so before anything else. So the barbarians spawned in like between my 4 cities. and I was first with population, which actually took me like maybe 20 turns, 20 or 20 at most turns for since I was um, I was last position, so only my third city isn't on a river and doesn't grow as much, but everything is fine. So I decided to go to get my universities in every city, so I could eventually get Orthodox universities for the free tech. I was thinking of getting artillery tech or even saving the university for um, flight or some bigger tech. You can see that that great profit was actually good. I mean, was a good idea. I will get my religion in every city, and that was great. At this point, I should have went machinery first, but doesn't matter. I got it anyway. So I'm just checking their gold status and to see what are they doing. At this point I returned the unit to Sidon, which increased my influence even more. Sidon was giving me militaristic units. Well, it's, as I said, it's not the greatest city-state that you could actually be allied with, but that kept me in the first position of the with military, which wasn't bad because when you're at the first spot with military for a long time, people get used to it, so they're not that much alarmed. I mean, they probably check from time to time, but you're constantly leading with the military, and if you're jumping uh, with the military value points um, little by little, which isn't alarming that much, and will work at your advantage eventually. The really important thing to do in a multiplayer game is constantly check demographics, so you can see um, military and literacy. That's one of the most important things that you should be aware of. I mean, what your enemy is actually doing. I had universities for some time now, but I didn't actually want to switch citizens from food tiles to the university um, science, because I wanted my cities to grow a little bit more. Since my priority was to actually get more science. So I was gonna give him silver again. Oh yeah, I proposed two luxury resources for some gold. I mean, I was thinking of doing it, but then he would have got it um, pretty cheap. I mean, 5 gold per turn, and he has like extra for happiness, which would work in his advantage more than mine. So I decided not to. Um, but I could do it with Beastie Boy because he was the the lowest on the scoreboard, and he he wouldn't actually be that much of a threat. You can see I deleted deleted that unit. I didn't want it to just waste my gold. I already had enough units. And he accepted, which was nice. That was like 5 gold more per turn for me. And I was second at literacy, 4 techs behind Mongolia. um, I was just not sure if he was actually doing the same techs I assumed he was. He was going for artillery and would have really got really bad if he gets it before me, so that was my only concern, especially since his capital was close to my one of my cities. You can see I decided to give 1k gold for alliance with that's Mombasa, I think, I'm not sure. Anyway, extra more food in my capital and in other cities. So I'm first at everything except literacy, which I was hoping it's gonna get. I mean, it was gonna change. In pretty soon, in pretty soon, because if I actually get artillery at the same time as Mongolia, it would actually it wouldn't really do a lot of good. I mean, it would slow me. I wouldn't really be able to attack him like that. So if he actually had before me or at the same time, I would decide not to go on him. I would just uh, build up artillery for defense and would research to see if I have oil. Then I'll go flight as soon as possible. That would be the idea. So at this point, I could actually go on universities to get more science soldiers. I'm third now, and I think Marius is first, which was a bit of a concern. I was like, he was maybe building units to attack me. He had like 40k in value. I was 36 or something like that. So if he had like 40k with non-upgraded units, he would just wait to have enough and upgrade them all and jump maybe 20 or more K on the scoreboard and attack me before I would actually get concerned that much. So I was keeping an eye on his military progress. My capital, he wouldn't have attacked Sparta, but he could attack my capital. So my capital wasn't in a bad position, but he had like 3 tiles from which he could attack with the ranged units. So wasn't that great. So you can see Notre Dame was built by Dementor. I needed one more turn before I get it, so that was a bummer. That's second or third. You can see I'm still 4 techs behind him. He made like 2 or 3 wonders a turn or 2 turns before me, so it was a bit of lucky there, but this game has a lot to do with luck, especially the position you find yourself at. But you're trying to make the most of it and adapt to any circumstances. That's all about. I mean, that's what's it all about. So rationalism, that gave me like almost 20 signs, which is great. Since I'm getting chemistry, I was going to start building mines. I mean, I had some mines, but make some more mines, because as soon as I get close to artillery, I would switch to production in every city and just start building cannons and cavalry. So there was still one more ruin, which actually turned out to be a map. So I was gonna build a garden, and I'm not sure what's national epic in my capital, so I could get those great scientists a bit faster. They could actually change the game. I built that musketman just in case Marius decides to attack me, just to have at least some units. I didn't want to go crossbowmen, so and he has 2 luxuries, probably since I gave him gold for 1, so he could actually trade and still have happiness from that luxury. The game was pretty peaceful during the first half of it, because everyone knew that you can't actually attack with earlier units. Sydney, yeah, it's Sydney. So So I wanted to clear that camp, not just because the barbarians were annoying. Sydney was asking for it, and more influence on them would, of course, do me good. So I just noticed that my city became religious by itself, so I didn't want to waste my profit there. Um, since I'm Greece, I'm gonna be having these city-states as allies till the game is almost over. I mean, when it's over, I still had them as allies.